I just came to get the word from the top administrators and find out what was really going on. And it looks like we have John Marks, Jr. running for mayor here in the city of Kinston. I think he's interested in knowing what's going on with kids' lives and the community here and some of the issues that are going on. And education is a very big issue, and we're looking at from the historical aspect. That's another reason why I'm here, to get information concerning Mr. Loud, Johnny Loud's legacy. And I think this is a very important conversation that we need to have amongst our community. And this is an issue that needs to be out there. So I came here today to ask you a few questions. I don't really have that many questions. I would really rather you get directly into why we're here today. If you could share with the community more an extensive background about what's really going on, because the newspaper only touches on certain issues and there's some more information that needs to be out there. So
the reason that it surrendered the charter is not because of the findings that were presented by the Office of Charter Schools to the State Board of Education in the Business and Financial section of the Department of Public Instruction. We paid the $80,000 that was owed him back through cross payments, and we corrected those issues. All the other issues were minor paperwork issues that could be resolved very quickly. The reason this board surrendered the charter is because of the publicity surrounding this actually caused the creditors, the finance, the lender that we had in place to refinance this facility to withdraw. And because of the uncertainty associated with the refinance now, we lost the ability to refinance, and that basically was fatal to the school. The history of that, though, is very problematic for us, and we have called for a federal criminal investigation of the matter. And the reason is because the building, there's a note in the amount of $1.5 million, of which we owe about $1.1 million remaining on. That note is held by Self-Help Ventures Fund, which is part of Self-Help Credit Union. And they have a USDA guarantee of that loan. So the federal government is directly involved because they're the guarantor of the loan that financed the purchase of the facility. We paid for the last 10 years the mortgage note, primarily just interest. We are now at the point where we're paying principal into the loan, and there's a great value for the loan to go in default to Self-Help, because they would get all of their money back to the USDA loan guarantee. The school has an appraisal of the facility, the building, that indicates the value is $4 million. We have about $2 million in outstanding loans. So there's about $2 million worth of equity in this building. If we were able to refinance that it would solve all our cash flow problems. We had a lender that was willing to lend us $3 million to refinance, as a refinance. It would have netted the school $1 million and enabled the school to go forward. It would have solved all the school's financial issues. But the state, along with Self-Help Credit Union, appear to have taken action to prevent that from happening, to keep us from refinancing. And we think that it needs to be investigated to determine whether there is a criminal violation that has taken place to defraud the federal government of funds, through invoking the USDA loan guarantee. So that's our concern right now. We're looking at the actions that have been taken. We had last year, we were in the midst of trying to refinance, and everything was shut down because of the fact that there was an erroneous finding, non-compliance finding by the Department of Public Instruction. And this erroneous finding was released to some of the potential lenders, and it placed the school in a situation where it couldn't refinance. And there also was a policy that was implemented by the Department of Public Instruction, at least one of the staff people there, that blocked us from being able to access about $600,000 that was available, had been provided by the legislature. The money was just sitting there, and they wouldn't let us have access to it. It caused us to have some late payments to the retirement system and the health plan. So they actually created a condition so that we would not, so that we'd be out of compliance. And then they decided us for being out of compliance for that. So, when we look at it, we think that this may be something that involves criminal conspiracy between at least one outside entity and some individuals within the Department of Public Instruction. And we're led to believe that because of other connections that we're aware of between those individuals and the Self-Help Ventures Fund. So we feel like this equity of the school is being stolen, is what is going on here. And this is impairing students, and it's adversely impacting all the people who lost their jobs here. We had over 55 employees have lost their jobs. So this is having a substantial impact on the community, on children and families, workers, and it's not right. And so it'd be easy for us to just walk away from it, but I think we have to do something to take some action, to let folks know what's going on, because it's affecting a lot of the people in the community. Yesterday we had children who now go to some of the high schools, one particularly in the early college, who's in advanced placement courses, honor student, who graduated from Kinston Charter Academy. We actually had several of our alumni, of students who went here from kindergarten through 8th grade, who came to see what was going on and to go walk through and look at the building for one last time, because they were really concerned about what was happening with the school. And so we had children crying. Personally, I have 2 children who are students here, and I have 2 grandchildren who are students here. They are affected. They're devastated by it. So this is personal for me. And so we're going to take whatever steps we need to take in order to make sure that we fully have this fully investigated. So it's something that the community needs to be aware of, and we ask for the community to support it. We've done everything we could to keep this school open. We've worked hard and struggled. If you look at the actual data, contrary to what's reported to say that the school had hit low performance status in 2012, the reality is that in 2012, the school did hit low performance status based on the state numbers. But if you actually look at what happened that year, we had major demographic changes in the school. So, and it was reflection of the students that came to us. And we worked very diligently with those students. We believe we made substantial progress with those students, but it didn't register the way that they felt that it should register. But if you look every single year that the school's been in existence prior to that, we have outperformed both Lenoir County and Pitt County public schools with the student demographic of low-income African-American students. With that demographic, we have scored 10 to 15 points higher than both Lenoir County as a whole for that demographic. So we have provided a much better quality education to the students than Lenoir County Public Schools has to this particular population. And we're proud of that record. And, so we believe that it's a travesty for the school to have to shut down under the circumstances. If the school had just fallen on its own or something like that, it would be different.